Deep within the remote folds of the Ural Mountains lingers an unsolved snowstorm dream frozen by time. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the quietest and most poignant mysteries hidden in the endless snow and ice of the northern wilderness. Once 9 young souls full of fire, courage and youthful longing walked bravely into the snow-covered mountains chasing their dreams of exploration and adventure. In the end they settled quietly on the desolate ridges, turning into eternal guardians watching over the silent snowy mountains through every passing season. Tonight, accompanied by the soft flickering warmth of a quiet fire, we step gently into this old story buried deep in snow and frost. We let the profound timeless tranquility spanning decades calm every trace of fatigue and restlessness in our hearts, allowing ourselves to relax completely and sink slowly into a peaceful undisturbed sleep. On that fateful freezing night, bitter icy winds swept across the lonely mountain pass, brushing past the torn tent that marked the final stop of the Dyatlov team's journey. We choose not to dwell on cruel speculation or terrifying truths, nor do we chase exaggerated rumors and tangled mysteries. Instead, we quietly revisit this grand yet obscure expedition epic, gradually fading into the blizzard of history. Listen closely to the lingering wind echoing through the mountain valleys. It carries the faint unspoken farewell of those 9 young travelers whose journey was suddenly halted halfway. Close your eyes and follow this gentle narration, drifting back into this piece of history cleansed and purified by endless snow and wind. Immerse yourself in the profound stillness of the snow-capped mountains and rest peacefully away from all worldly noise. The Dyatlov Pass incident is far more than an unsolved historical puzzle buried in time. It stands as a final solemn farewell to human courage and youthful persistence. 9 bright names, one fearless youthful journey, all came to a quiet eternal halt in the bitter cold of the Ural wilderness, forming a silent tacit agreement sealed by wind, snow and time. Tonight we step away from all noisy speculation, arbitrary analysis and endless guesses from the outside world. With the softest, most reverent tone, we cherish and remember that once blazing passionate period of youth and fearless exploration. Let the pure icy tranquility of this northern wilderness wrap around your wandering mind, guiding you slowly into a profound, heavy and peaceful dreamland far removed from trivial worldly troubles. It is hard to imagine the boundless stillness of a mountain pass entirely sealed by snow and ice, where time froze completely on that distant frigid night. The 9 young explorers who should have ushered in a warm, vibrant spring and a long promising future ended their youthful journey forever on this desolate snowy ridge, writing the final quiet footnote to their short but brilliant lives. Tonight, beside the gentle flickering fire and accompanied by this simple unhurried story that requires no deliberate memorization, we walk into the true tenderness behind this heavy historical event. We do not come to hunt for cruel hidden truths or dig out terrifying details. We simply stand in the endless cold, frozen by time, feeling the unique loneliness and peace buried deep in this remote wilderness. In the hush of this long night we follow the quiet, untold rhythm of this story, walking gently into the embrace of this silent eternal guardian of fate and snow-capped mountains. The prelude to the Dyatlov Pass incident unfolded in a winter full of passion, faith and youthful idealism in the Ural Mountains. Back then, 9 vigorous young people filled with longing for nature and respect for wilderness exploration packed their bags, shouldered their heavy hiking gear and stepped firmly onto the thick snow of the northern mountains. They marched forward step by step toward the remote, rugged ridge locally known as the Mountain of Death. In their youthful eyes, this dangerous snowy journey was never a terrifying adventure or a desperate gamble. It was the most romantic pilgrimage of youth, a fearless challenge to human limits, a sincere dialogue between mortal souls and the grand wild nature. Full of hope, courage and unyielding enthusiasm, they believed they would cross the snowy ridge, witness the magnificent scenery of the distant mountains and return safely with precious memories of exploration. No one could foresee that as night fell quietly over the wilderness, the silent, indifferent snow-capped mountain would silently swallow all their laughter, passion and youthful vitality. Their wholehearted devotion to the unknown journey, their fearless courage in the face of wilderness challenges and their pure longing for exploration now appear heartbreakingly beautiful and precious in the eyes of later generations, a touching purity rarely seen in the complicated, noisy world. The moment the tent was cut open from the inside with sharp marks became an eternal unsolved silence frozen in the snow-capped mountains. No one can fully restore the panic, tension and inner struggle that swept through the tent on that freezing night. The desperate instinct that drove them to rush straight into the raging snowstorm without hesitation represents the most primitive human instinct of self-defense and survival in the face of unknown terror and extreme crisis. Faced with sudden inexplicable danger, they abandoned all warm protective equipment, all supplies and all means of sheltering from the cold. Without a single moment of hesitation they stepped out of the fragile tent and walked resolutely into the vast blank white abyss of wind and snow. The helplessness of being trapped in the raging blizzard, the despair of facing boundless icy wilderness alone, and the unease of confronting unknown dangers all merged into an extreme tranquility deeply engraved on the desolate mountain ridge. We no longer dwell on tangled mysteries or deliberate on various speculative answers. We simply gaze quietly at the inner transformation of those young people in their final moments, witnessing the ultimate choice made by ordinary human beings when facing the vast emptiness and irresistible power of nature. On that frigid high-altitude ridge, endless bitter cold became the most loyal and impartial narrator of the entire Dyatlov Pass story. The ruthless wind and heavy snow drowned out all sounds of panic, struggle and movement, erasing almost all traces of that night's chaos and leaving only dead silence across the wilderness. Yet the extreme cold could never obliterate the vivid soul traces of those 9 young people who once sat around warm campfires talking passionately about their dreams, their travels and their bright expectations for the future. After that desperate night, the 9 young travelers scattered quietly on the edge of the endless snowfield like forgotten chess pieces left on the vast Earth's chessboard, silently waiting for the arrival of spring that they would never witness again. This quiet long waiting has woven the heaviest, most touching scenery of the Ural Mountains, a solemn quiet scene too sacred and heavy for anyone to disturb casually. Every faint crack left on the snowy ground, every faded footprint buried under the ice and snow records their final persistence, their helpless collapse and the quiet sinking of their unfulfilled youthful dreams. As years and decades flow quietly by, the Dyatlov Pass incident has gradually faded away from its terrifying and mysterious outer shell in people's discussions and memories. What remains after the washing of time is only sincere awe and reverence for ordinary life and youthful courage. Countless people have tried to use rigorous scientific reasoning and logical deduction to restore the truth of that night, attempting to give a definite answer to this long-standing mystery. Yet the towering snow-capped Ural Mountains always maintain their cold, distant and restrained silence, never revealing their hidden secrets. This is perhaps nature's gentlest refusal to human excessive curiosity and arbitrary exploration. The vast wilderness chooses to return all unsolved mysteries to the wind and snow, to be sealed and preserved by time forever. The unique loneliness gently confined by nature has transcended ordinary worldly definitions, evolving into a transcendent quiet power that guides every listener to calm down, explore their inner peace and reconcile with restlessness. In this remote wilderness, gradually forgotten by the noisy world, those 9 youthful souls have finally obtained eternal peace, free from the endless speculation, discussion and disturbance of the mortal world. The night grows deep and quiet. The cold wind of the Ural Mountains still blows gently across the old site of the Dyatlov Pass incident, sweeping through the ridges and valleys, carrying away all the sorrow, regret and grief left by that distant accident. What was once an unfinished youthful expedition full of courage and longing has now become a pure habitat for our tired souls, providing steady, powerful spiritual sustenance in the silent night. Let this quiet, snowy mountain world gather all your scattered, chaotic thoughts, trivial worries and inner restlessness. The unique coldness and holiness of the snow mountains can calm all the waves and fluctuations deep in your heart, soothing every tired nerve. Sink into this pure icy tranquility and follow those persistent youthful souls into the peaceful deep sleep of the snow-capped mountains. Let your breathing slow down, gradually becoming as long, steady and calm as the quiet, distant mountains. Tonight, under the silent eternal watch of the Dyatlov snowfield, let yourself drift gently into the deepest, most serene and reassuring dream, wrapped in the quiet tenderness of time and snow.